Hi YouTube, it's us again. We have a large project that we have been talking about for a long time, and the first thing we have to do with that large project is to mill a ton of lumber.
We mentioned in our last video, before we can start siding the house, we actually have to build a deck and our front entry covered area. I don't know what to call that, patio sort of thing. And we need lumber for that. So this whole video is just going to be us milling up the logs that we picked up in the last video from a tree that had fallen on off of our property. And yeah, we got our mill set up, we're ready to go.
If you take a look behind us, this is our pile of tree, and we have it cut exactly to the lengths that we need for our deck. And now that we have the mill up on its nice stable blocks, it cuts completely straight, good enough for on our house. Actually, you know what? I can roll this. So as a precaution, we've got our fire pump hooked up. Everything is super dry here, and we've got tons of water over there if there was an issue, which I highly doubt there will be, but we use seatbelts when we drive for a reason. When it gets this dry, you keep a fire hose nearby for everything you do, especially when you're using a chainsaw, so we're safe.
Come here. The deck that we are building is going to run along the front of the house here, and then it's going to go down the side and connect over by the chimney. We're actually going to bump it out from the house on that side an extra like 3 feet, I think, so that we can have a staircase that goes along the side of the house over there, so that if you're coming from the front of the house, you can get up on the deck there, or we'll have a staircase over on this corner here so that you can come down into the yard. We're gonna have this part fenced off completely because our front door's over there. We want to be using that as the front door. And yeah, so it's gonna come out 8 feet from the front of the house, and it'll come out 10 feet in this side here, and it'll come to about the edge of the rose bush right there. So it's going to be a huge deck. We've talked about putting a covered section on this part just so that we can use it you know, in bad weather as well, or just have some extra shade in the summer. But we're just going to get the base of the deck done first before we start adding on cool stuff like that. One thing that we did want to mention is that we're going to be using a product with a high fire rating. So we're going to be doing all of our milled lumber, then we're going to do a layer of plywood, a layer of cement board, and then we're going to be using a product called Flexstone, I believe it's called. And it's basically just a solid membrane that is going to cover the cement board, and that should give us a Class A fire rating, I believe is the rating system. And we're doing that because, as you can see, there's smoke everywhere. Much of BC is burning right now. It's really scary, and we don't want to have any exposed wood on our house. We already feel very vulnerable right now because we have the plywood showing and we have this wooden deck. We've got the soffitting isn't done, and you'd be happy to know that our siding has actually arrived. We have it here, but we want to get this deck in so that it's easier to install the siding, and B, we can tie it in so that all of the water that comes off the side of the house will just go onto the deck, and that's already going to be sealed and it'll be nice and watertight. So things are moving along, and we're just really looking forward to getting the siding up so that we don't have to worry anymore.
So I'm making a scale right now. I've got these little homemade scales. So this one is a 1/2 inch scale. So this would actually be called a 2/4 in sawing language. So 4/4 equals 1 inch, 2/4 equals 1/2. So it's just kind of the way a sawyer's mind works. So I need a 1.5 inch scale. We're milling lumber that is the exact same size as what we buy from the store, because we're going to be using deck hangers, like those metal hangers. And you can get rough cut deck hangers, but they're like double the price. And we're going to be framing everything on 16 centers anyway, so this will be completely fine. What's an 1 5/8 inches times 2?
10/16?
No. How do I ask that all the way up?
Go on your construction calculator.
5/8. 1 inch and 5/8. One inch and 5/8. Here. Perfect. So that little T is my line. So this last little part right here makes it so that I have one more piece out of here. I can't cut this off the bottom of this board because I have these little stops, and obviously that's metal and it'll destroy my blade. So that's why I cut that there. You got your safety Crocs?
Yes.
You got your safety skin?
Yep.
Safety shirt?
Yes.
Safety shorts?
Yes.
Good.
Safety muscles too. What are you digging into?
My beautiful Katie and I live off-grid. And what does that really mean? Well, there's a long controversial bunch of posts on every single YouTube creator that makes off-grid content. Well, what we believe it to be is one thing, but what other people believe it to be is another. So being off-grid in the modern world also means keeping your data private online, keeping it off of the grid. Which brings me to the sponsor of today's video, Delete Me. Once in a while, and far too often, I will get a phone call from a number I don't know who it is, and I'll answer it, and it'll be 2 seconds of that dead air, and then, hey, you've won 438 travel dollars, or the CRA is going over your file and you have fines to pay. These are not real phone calls. They are people who are fishing for your information, and with Delete Me, they help take all of that garbage out of your life.
Data brokers are constantly scouring the internet looking for personally identifiable information so that they can build a profile with your personal information. These profiles include things like your social security number, date of birth, past and present addresses, and more of you and your relatives. Delete Me has a team of experts that find and remove your personal information so you can protect your identity online. Delete Me recently removed my personal information from 3 data brokers after reviewing 1,600 listings from 39 data brokers.
So if you want to take yourself a bit more off-grid and protect yourself from these data brokers, you can join Delete Me to receive a special offer for 20% off. You can go to our link in the description and use the code OffGrid20, or you can go to joindeleteme.com/offgridlife. Big thanks to Delete Me for sponsoring today's video. is the nicest wood I've ever milled. I mean, it is laser. I won't even call it rough cut. I'm gonna call it like roughish cut.
Laundry soap smell.
Clean. Boards are clean. That really, really, really sucks. They would have missed it too. Sakes. Oh, I gotta try to. Now what?
Just put a new blade on to keep going, I guess.
Yeah. Thankfully, I have 2 subscribers who have bought me packs of blades because I don't have a blade sharpener. I have to do it by hand. And all I gotta do is switch to a new blade. So thanks again for the gift.
Confused.
Eef. I don't even know if I can sharpen that back to goodness. Those are so ratchet, I've busted off tips.
Stand back. I didn't know if you were just tripping there or
I was tripping.
You were tripping
because you're recording. I'm smooth usually. So clean out. It's freaking sharp, man. Bing bong. So this one is almost the right height, size. I'm sure we can still do it. It's like a
All right, Greg has milled all of the 2 8-foot logs that we had. The last 2 that we have are 10-foot long, and they're gonna go on the side part of the deck. So we'll see if we get the same amount or more or less out of these 2 logs at 10 feet long. How come you're doing it this way?
Do you want me to explain it, Katie? I'll explain it to you. So let's look right here. So here's the thing. I need 7 1/4 in here. So if I cut it in the center, I get the most 7 1/4 pieces because I'm at 1.5 inches, which is dimensional lumber. So 7 1/4 1.5 so I get all that dimensional lumber. But what I get on the outside is 2x7s and a 2x4. Or a 2x7 and 2x6 even. So I get to utilize all the bits of wood.
And then you'll take those pieces and just cut.
Resaw them.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Oh, look, Katie. It's a live edge slab. Let's sell this for $500. No, it's unfinished lumber. That's what it actually is. So don't be a sucker and buy live edge slabs.
So close that I can taste it on my tongue. Tell the king he's overthrown. Follow where the river's flown. Underneath the water cold, all overcome. Never tired, we never drop. What's inside can't be stopped. Light it up, light it up. Light it up, light it up like the sun. Light it up, light it up. Clear, our hearts are full, breaking through impossible. Light it up, light it up. Light it up, light it up like the sun. Light it up, light it up. Light it up, light it up like the sun. Light it up like
Oh, so that's 25 8-foot 2x8s and 13 10-foot 2x8s. And we still have this log, but you can't even see the sun anymore, which you barely could because of the smoke from the fires. That's all we got for today. So I'm gonna get up and mill this for breakfast. We've had many people ask about the old black dog. She gets out for a couple poops in a day, one walk in the evening, a breakfast and a supper. Other than that, she likes to sleep. She's an old lady. She's coming up on 15, which is the biggest blessing I could ever imagine. But you don't see her very much in the videos because she's an old girl. She likes to sleep.